This is not a story about mining. And it is not a story about technology. It is a signal that global power is quietly shifting. When major countries begin restricting exports of materials most people have never heard of. When an Arctic island suddenly becomes strategically valuable. And when the world's most advanced military systems depend on the same invisible elements. That is not coincidence. It is a sign that the global system is entering a new phase. Quieter, more technical, and far more consequential. Over the past decade, global power has become increasingly tied to technology. Not just consumer technology, but systems that underpin modern states. Energy grids, communications, transportation, and defense. At the center of all of this is a narrow group of materials known as rare earth elements. They are essential for electric vehicles, advanced semiconductors, satellite systems, precision-guided weapons, and artificial intelligence infrastructure. Yet despite their importance, their supply is highly concentrated. Today, China controls the majority of the world's rare earth processing and refining capacity. Not because it owns all the reserves, but because it invested early in the most complex parts of the supply chain. For years, this arrangement was treated as efficient. Western economies outsourced refining to reduce costs and environmental risks. Global trade absorbed the imbalance. But timing matters. As geopolitical tensions increased, supply chains that once seemed reliable began to look fragile. Export controls, trade restrictions, and strategic stockpiling turned technical materials into political leverage. What was once a background industrial issue has now moved into the center of global strategic planning. And that shift explains why places once ignored, remote, inhospitable, and sparsely populated are suddenly attracting intense international attention. This did not happen by accident. The rare earth problem is not about geology. It is about structure. For decades, the global economic system rewarded efficiency over resilience. Countries optimized for lower costs, faster production, and cleaner balance sheets. Anything that was expensive, complex, or environmentally risky was pushed elsewhere. China made a different calculation. It accepted lower margins, higher pollution, and long-term investment in processing and refining. The most difficult and least profitable stages of the rare earth supply chain. While others focused on innovation at the end of the chain, China secured control at the middle. This created a structural imbalance. Rare earths are not strategically valuable when they are in the ground. They become powerful only after they are separated, refined, and transformed into usable materials. By dominating these stages, China gained leverage without firing a shot. No embargo was needed. No confrontation required. The system itself ensured dependency. Once global industries were built around this structure, reversing it became slow, expensive, and politically sensitive. That is why supply diversification now feels urgent. And why it also feels late. In the current system, the winners are clear. China holds the strongest position. Not because it controls every reserve, but because it sits at the choke points of processing and refinement. This gives it pricing power, supply leverage, and strategic influence across multiple industries. Countries with advanced manufacturing but limited access to rare earth processing face the opposite reality. The United States, Japan, South Korea, and parts of Europe remain technologically sophisticated, yet structurally exposed. Their vulnerability is not immediate collapse, but constraint. Industries that rely on rare earths feel the pressure first. Electric vehicles, defense manufacturing, aerospace, renewable energy, and high-performance electronics. Even small disruptions translate into higher costs, production delays, and strategic uncertainty. Smaller resource-rich countries occupy an uneasy middle ground. They possess potential leverage, but lack the infrastructure to convert raw materials into strategic assets. Without processing capacity, their resources generate value elsewhere. In this balance, power does not belong to those who dig the ground, but to those who control what happens next. If this structure remains unchanged, the effects will extend far beyond mining and materials. Supply chains will become more fragmented. Companies will diversify suppliers, even at higher cost, prioritizing security over efficiency. This will quietly push prices upward across technology-dependent industries. Inflationary pressure will not come from energy or food alone, but from components that rarely appear on consumer invoices. Motors, sensors, magnets, and control systems embedded inside everyday products. Strategically, alliances will begin to shift. Countries with access to alternative sources or processing capacity will gain bargaining power. Those without it will be forced into deeper partnerships, technology sharing, or political concessions. The most sensitive impact will be in defense and critical infrastructure. Governments will accelerate stockpiling, subsidize domestic processing, and redefine what counts as national security. These responses will not make headlines immediately, but they will reshape industrial policy, trade agreements, and diplomatic priorities over time. This is how material shortages become geopolitical realignments. Slowly, quietly, and with lasting consequences. This is not just a rare earth story. It is part of a broader pattern that has been building for years. The global system is moving away from pure efficiency and toward strategic control. Supply chains that were once optimized for cost are being redesigned for reliability, influence, and security. This shift signals a gradual form of deglobalization, not a collapse, but a reconfiguration. Trade is becoming more selective. Technology more territorial. Resources more political. We have seen this pattern before. Oil shaped the geopolitics of the 20th century. Semiconductors defined the early 21st. Rare earths now sit at the intersection of both industry and power. What makes this moment different is its subtlety. There are no dramatic shocks. No sudden breakdowns. Instead, control is being embedded into infrastructure, regulations, and long-term industrial strategy. The world is not fragmenting overnight. It is hardening into blocks. And once that structure settles, reversing it becomes extraordinarily difficult. The world will not break tomorrow. There will be no sudden shortages. No dramatic announcements. No visible crisis. What is happening instead is quieter. Control is shifting away from markets and toward those who shape the systems behind them. In this environment, power no longer belongs to the loudest actor or the largest economy, but to the ones who secured the invisible foundations early. The question is no longer who has the most resources. It is who can decide when they move, where they go, and who gets left waiting. Because in the next phase of the global order, dependence will be more dangerous than conflict.